All right, little unexpected good news, something I truly did not think I would see. So the PFF and everybody else is coming out with all these things. It's June, right? It's almost July. And right now it's the time of year where we just come out with list of who's the best offensive line, who's the best defensive line, who's got the best secondary, who's got the best running back room, who's got the best quarterback room, who has the best offense, defense, all of that kind of stuff. And PFF has come out with one. So here's one that I did not expect to see coming. So here's the way I'm going to ask it to you. If you had to name a position group, and here's what we'll say the position groups are: quarterback, running back, offensive line, wide receiver, tight end. Those are the 5 position groups on offense. On defense, defensive line, linebacker, corners, linebackers, and safeties. I'm going to say that again because I might have said it wrong. Defensive line, linebacker, corners, and safeties. I did say it wrong. I said linebacker twice. All right. Of those 9 major position groups, what do you believe is the weakest one of the Detroit Lions? Go ahead. Leave it in the comments below. What do you believe is the weakest group? All right. Stop. Go. Maybe even think about the second weakest group, whatever it is. Now, what do you think is the strongest group? Honestly, what do you think is the strongest group? And everybody together said offensive line, right? Well, here's what I thought was kind of interesting. PFF came out with their 2024 NFL defensive line rankings, and the Jets take the cake, but I'm wondering, where do the Lions fall in? So let's go down this list and see how long it takes us. The New York Jets have a very good defensive line, period. We don't have to wonder about that. And then all of a sudden I looked at the 49ers and I saw, okay, they got Floyd, they got Hargrave, they got Collins, they got Bosa. And I'm just like, that's not that much better of a defensive line than us. Then you go to the Eagles, who we know have had a good defensive line for a while. And at number 4, you get the Detroit Lions. Number 4. How many of you viewed this defensive line as a top 5 in the NFL defensive line? I don't think many of us would have rated it that way. And here's the reason, and there are many good reasons to say that it is a top 5, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We'll look at PFF, we'll look just at their numbers, then we'll go beyond that, and we'll talk about a couple of other things, and we'll talk about ultimately what the weak point of this defense is and how we can mitigate some of that. So at number 4, it says, for a while, the Lions had Aiden Hutchinson and not much else along the defensive line. Now they will deploy DJ Reader and an improved Aleem McNeil along with Marcus Davenport on his latest Prove It deal. This is unquestionably the best group the Lions have had around Hutchinson, who himself racked up 101 QB pressures last season on his way to a 91.2 PFF rushing grade. Pass rushing grade, just to be clear. I said rushing. I meant pass rushing. So this is number 5. By the way, the teams that fall right behind us are the Browns, the Cowboys, the Colts, the Steelers. Yeah, TJ Watt and the Steelers, the Raiders, and then the Houston Texans will round out at number 10. Now, here's the reason I think our team is there. I don't think we have the best edge rushing group. We have Hutch. So the best edge rushing group could go to a lot of teams. You could look at the Texans with that. You could look at, you could look at the Jets. You could look at even the Chargers with that. But the problem is most of those teams don't have the interior that we have. We have arguably the second or first best defensive interior. It's phenomenal how good that tandem of McNeil and DJ Reader is. So let's look at all of our players as a whole, and I'll try and get zoomed in here a little bit more for you. So if you look at our players by defensive grade, Aiden Hutchinson and Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader are in a class of their own. Aiden Hutchinson rated as the 8th best edge defender in the NFL last year. Now, if he was just going as a pure pass rusher, he was also there. I was shocked at how good his pass rush grade is and compared to his run defense. I thought his run defense was always better, right? And it is better. So PFF, again, isn't perfect. Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader are 7th and 11th on PFF grade for interior defensive linemen. They're phenomenal. And then we just have a bunch of guys who have flashed and have shown maybe they can do something. A underweight, finally getting healthy Levi Onwuzurike got a 68.5 in limited snaps last year. Josh Paschal, John Kaminsky. These are guys that, hey, maybe when they're not having to play a ton of snaps, they can be good in specialist roles. Broderick Martin, a guy that's still developing. Marcus Davenport, as they said on that Prove It deal, and then James Houston, now that he's healthy, can he get back to that old form as a pass rushing specialist who knows how to get things done? Then you have guys like Peko as well, the veteran presence there. That's a good defensive line, and the reason it's so good is because it's deep and it's consistent. There's edge rushers, you have Aiden Hutchinson, and then on the other side, you can be very multiple with it. You can do a guy who's similar to Hutch in Marcus Davenport, who is good against the pass, but also pretty decent against the run. He has long arms. Or you can go guys who are a little bigger body, guys like Josh Paschal, guys like John Kaminsky. Or you can go pure speed rush with James Houston. So they can deploy a lot of different things. I think also when you look at the interior of this defensive line, DJ Reader is he simply demands double teams. He is a double team monster, and you can't move him. This is going to open up avenues for Aleem McNeil in ways that we could only imagine. It is going to unlock his pass rushing prowess that I think he has. And same for Levi Onwuzurike if he can stay healthy, or maybe they put Paschal in there. It doesn't matter to me. This is a defensive line that can do multiple things, that has multiple solid players. So yeah, as weird as it sounds, it's a top 5 defensive line in the NFL. Now, when you pair that with the number 1 offensive line, what do you have? Wins. I think it's really that simple. We know we have skill out on the outside on the offense. We know we have skill in the backfield on offense, and we know what Goff can do. On the defensive end, I think what you're going to start seeing now is all these players on the back end, whether it's in the secondary, the linebackers, they are going to start doing what the offense did last year, which is improving greatly because they've put an elite defensive line in front of them. When you have Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader eating up blocks in the middle, you are going to have the Jack Campbells of the world, the Alex Anzalonis of the world, the Derek Barnes of the world running free at running backs. When you have to double DJ Reader, Aleem McNeil is going to get pass rushing opportunities. They can't just consistently put 2 guys out on Hutchinson's side and stop him with a double team or a chip and not have to worry about anyone else. There are multiple players that can rush the passer now on this team. Do I think there still needs to be a little bit of work? Do I think this is a team that trends a little bit toward better run stopping defensive line than pass rushing? Yes, but they have the tools in place to become a solid pass rushing defensive line as well. I just thought I'd put that out there. Like, I don't know how many of us were thinking Detroit Lions top 5 defensive line in the league. Numbers don't lie. Based on PFF, based on ratings, based on all those things, this is a team that is undoubtedly a top 5 team with 3 players out of the 4 at a top 10, 111, all right, at their position ranking. That's solid. And to give you just the final caveat of it all, if you add up the PFF score of our offensive line and take an average of it, our starting offensive line is an 81.84. Our defensive line is a 78.85. They grade out very similarly, and everybody agrees that this is the best offensive line in football. What if we can combo that with the best defensive line in football? Look out, Super Bowl run. Here we come. All right, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. See you on the next one.